So I have a few more updates, and let's go ahead and get into these. Looks like the jury is back, and let's see what these updates are. Okay, so we have some. Let's see. Okay, so I have one from both Julia Jacobs and Benjamin Weiser in the courtroom, or reporting from the courtroom. And they said, as Sean Combs' federal trial opened in Manhattan on Monday, one of his lawyers acknowledged to a jury that the music mogul was responsible for domestic, using YouTube language again, domestic violin, and having a bad temper. But she pushed back strenuously on the idea that his behavior amounted to racketeering and ex-trafficking. The lawyer, Tenny Garagos, said that her client was a substance user, that he was sometimes overcome by jealousy, that he had an unconventional ex-life, and that he grew violin, including in an ASSAULT of his former girlfriend, Cassandra Ventura, at a hotel in 2016. The evidence is going to show you a very flawed individual, Ms. Garagos said, but it will not show you a racketeer or ex-trafficker or somebody transporting for PROSTITUTION. Okay. Over nearly an hour, the lawyer tried to undercut the government's contention that Mr. Combs coerced two women into substance-fueled ex-marathons with male S-workers. Let's read that again. Over nearly an hour, the lawyer tried to undercut the government's contention that Mr. Combs coerced two women into these substance-fueled S-marathons with male S-workers. Okay, Ms. Garagos described those encounters as consensual threesomes by adults. We will not shy away from the things Mr. Combs did, Ms. Garagos said, but the defense would not own, in quotes, own things he did not do. She implored the jury not to judge Mr. Combs by his sexual preferences, adding, "You may know of his love of baby oil," referring to more than 1,000 bottles of the product that the federal agents found in his home. In quotes, "Is that a federal crime? No." Okay, so that's what they had to say about that. It's not a crime to have 1,000 bottles of baby oil. Ms. Garagos homed in on a widely publicized video showing the 2016 assault of Ms. Ventura, describing it as fueled by jealousy, a common theme in their relationship. She said the encounter was a dispute involving a phone and described the footage as overwhelming evidence of domestic violin. But the lawyer pushed back on the government's contention that it was evidence of ex-trafficking. At the beginning of her opening statement to jurors, Ms. Garagos introduced Mr. Combs as a magnetic, in quotes, larger-than-life figure who rose from a modest upbringing in Harlem to become a wealthy executive and business owner. In quotes, no one gave him a dime, she said. Much of the lawyer's opening statement focused on Miss Ventura, seeking to portray her as a long-term girlfriend who loved Mr. Combs despite frequent tensions in their relationship. Miss Ventura made in quotes, a choice to stay with him, a choice to fight for him, because for 11 years, that was the better choice, Ms. Garagos said. The defense argued jurors to evaluate, the defense urged jurors to evaluate the potential motives of witnesses, highlighting the civil cases that had been filed against Mr. Combs over the past year and a half, starting with Ms. Ventura's suit in late 2023. Parentheses, Ms. Ventura's suit was settled in one day for an 8-figure sum. She also addressed another former girlfriend of Mr. Combs, who is at the center of the government's ex-trafficking case and is being referred to by pseudonym Jane in open court. Their relationship may have been toxic and dysfunctional, Ms. Garagos argued, but the ex was consensual. The relations was consensual. In quotes, regret does not mean that she was coerced, she said. As for another accuser, a former employee under the pseudonym Mia, who is accusing Mr. Combs of coerced relations, Ms. Garagos implored jurors to, in quote, evaluate her motive and read her real-time messages that will come into evidence. Ms. Garagos framed the trial as something of an opportunity for her client following a year and a half of accusations in the news, media, and civil lawsuits. And then also in quotes, the story about this case can finally come out, she said. Okay, let's keep going. Let's keep going. Telling us about some of the other people, the charges. We know the charges. Okay, so 13 minutes ago, court is back in session after a lunch break, and the jury is being called back into the courtroom. We expect the government to call its first witness shortly. Wow, okay, one new update. 5 minutes ago, the government has called its first witness, Israel Flores, a Los Angeles police officer who was a security guard at the Intercontinental Hotel in 2016. Oh my gosh. They called the security guard who was there at the time of the incident at the hotel with Cassie in the elevator bay. Okay, Sean Combs was seen on video assaulting Cassandra Ventura in a hallway at the hotel last year. Okay, so let me see if there's another update. Let's see. I'm gonna check a couple of times to see. Let me see what y'all are saying in the chat. Okay. Hello, 41 Sally Ann. Hi, thanks for coming in. Okay, Sally Ann Brown, 1983. You have no baby oil. Yeah, actually me either. I just, put on scented lotion to moisturize my skin, and that's about it. Okay, Olga Morales is in the building. Let's see, Daniel Turner, hello. Okay, I hear you, Daniel. I don't need any. I'm good. I'm good over here with my EOS lotion. Hey, I said what I said. Hello, hello. Thanks for stopping in. So I'm just trying to see if there's another Diddy update before I cut this live loose. I'm just coming in live off and on all day with the Diddy updates. Let's see if there's an update over here on another platform. Oh, let's see. I wish they wouldn't pin things to the top and then you have to scroll down to get the... Okay, someone says there. I recognize Sean Combs. He is there wearing a gray sweater. And then, okay, so this is a conversation. This is another platform, y'all. Someone else says, what is your title? And then, oh, this is the security. This is the security person being given testimony, I believe. I believe that's what this is. So they said, what is your title? And then Flores says, Assistant Director of Security. And then AUSA says, let me show you a photo of the Intercontinental Hotel. Flores says, it's shaped like a pyramid, and judge admitted. Yeah, that's testimony. Before that, here's another line of the questioning. So AUSA says, we call LAPD Officer Israel Flores. He is sworn. So this is when they first called him to testify. Flores says, I'm also a reservist for the Army. I was a guard with Securitas in 2016 in the Intercontinental Hotel near Century City. And then AUSA says, what happened on March 5th, 2016? And Flores says, I was told of the 6th floor. I was told of the 6th floor. Okay, so this is live, this is testimony coming in. Let me refresh and see if they have another. Let's see. Okay, 1 minute ago. AUSA says, what kind of incidents did you respond to? Flores says, all kinds. We had a couple of, not going to say that word, incidents taking their own life there. We'd prepare incident reports, the 5 W's. AUSA asks, would you attach photos to the report? And Flores says yes, but not video. We did not have the password. All right. I see Geneva in the chat. Hello, Geneva. Thank you for joining in. Okay. So it's looking like this is going to be coming in every couple minutes. So I'm going to stay on here because this looks pretty reliable. Let's see. Minutes ago, 3 minutes ago, 18 minutes ago. Okay, the next bit hasn't come in just yet, so I'm going to put you all on a brief mute, and then I'll be right back whenever they whenever this updates with the next line of questioning. And what we're doing is looking at the live updates that are coming in from Diddy's trial if you just came in. And I'm just going to kind of toggle back and forth between two different platforms where these updates are coming in from. So let's see, 21 minutes ago, 13 minutes ago. Okay, so I have all the live updates off of one platform, and I don't see any new ones off of this one. Let's see. They're not quite in order, which is a tad bit frustrating. Just a bit. You would think that they would just stack on top of each other, but they're not exactly coming in like that. Five minutes, 39 seconds. Okay. AUSA asks, when did this incident take place? Flores says 11 a.m. I got a report of a woman in distress on the 6th floor. I closed the security base and checked the cameras. There was an African American man pacing back and forth. I didn't see a female. I rushed there. I'm checking. I see Keisha Marie in the chat. Hi, Keisha Marie. Thank you for coming in. We're trying to get these up to date trial, the most up to date updates. I guess that's the only way to put it from the trial. And okay, so I'm not seeing anything else come in for right now. Okay, so that's the one I just read. Okay, all right, so I think I'm going to keep this live up since these are coming in pretty frequently. And then I'll just come back and forth. I'm going to mute my mic. Let me read this one first and then I'll mute. Okay, so from another source, 1 minute ago, Israel Flores, a Los Angeles police officer who was a security guard at the Intercontinental Hotel in 2016, is the first person to testify about an ASSAULT at the crux of the government's ex-trafficking case. That March, Sean Combs was caught on security cameras striking, hitting, and kicking Cassandra Ventura after she left their hotel room where the government says a freak-off had recently taken place. The prosecution had said that Combs bought the surveillance footage from hotel security for $100,000, but it has not disappeared for good. Last year, Of course, CNN published clips of the surveillance footage, and the jury is expected to see footage of the incident. Okay. All right. I'm going on mute. I'll be back with more updates. Good afternoon, Nesto, Shackles, Shuffles, Walk of Shame. How are you? Thank you for coming in. I hope you had a nice Mother's Day. Happy belated Mother's Day to all of the ladies in the chat who are mothers, who are grandmothers, who are stepmothers, who are godmothers, whatever kind of mother you may be. I hope you had a wonderful day on yesterday, Mother's Day 2025. So right now we're just waiting for another update to come in. Thank you, thank you. I appreciate that too. Yep, I'm just waiting. If they don't come in quickly, then I'll end this live and I'll just go back to the lives as soon as I collect up a couple of updates. But they were coming in pretty quick there a minute ago. One minute. Okay, 1 minute ago. So the AUSA, who is AUSA? Is that Agnifilo? I'm gonna have to figure out who this is. But ask the question, what did you tell them? And Flores answers that they were arguing. That is, okay. That is, they were arguing they'd have to take it back to these room. I don't know if this guy is just typing too fast or what, but maybe he meant to say that if they were arguing, they'd have to take it back to their room. That sounds more like what he may have wanted to say. And that the broken vase would be charged to the room. Cassie said she wanted her phone and her bag. Okay. All right. Hello, Shirley's divorce finally. Thank you for tapping back in. So I got updates, a little bit better of a flow. It's kind of still a little bit disjointed. It's not, it's not what I'd like for it to be, and I'm sure everybody would like for it to be like a stream where we can just see and hear the way everything is coming in real time. But as I'm getting these updates, I'm trying to push them out. one platform and then another. And then Flores, is that the most recent one? So Flores again, Miss Cassie said she wanted to leave. Mr. Combs said, "You're not leaving. I saw inside the room a male black wearing dark clothing." AUSA asked, "What did Mr. Combs do after Cassie left?" And Flores said, "He called me. He was holding a stack of money, not to tell anyone." So let's read that again. Flores, Miss Cassie said she wanted to leave. Mr. Combs said, "You're not leaving. I saw inside the room a male black wearing dark clothing." AUSA asked, "What did Mr. Combs do after Cassie left?" Flores said, "He called for me. He was holding a stack of money, comma, not to tell anyone." Okay, that's that's the latest update. And we're just waiting for another one. Let me go to the other site. Okay, nothing on the other site. Okay. So we'll sit with this one, the one that is coming in a little bit quicker than the other one. Okay, I'm gonna mute for a minute and then I'll be back. So, okay, so I'm back. I need to grab my coffee. So, if y'all don't know, from earlier, it sounds like the defense is really just going to try to push that these were Diddy's relationships. This is how he was in his relationships. He was not nice. He liked what he liked. And that's just what it was. But it wasn't any racketeering involved. There was no trafficking involved. This was just simply how he was toxic within these relationships. That's what Diddy's lawyers are arguing, that he was just a toxic guy in these relationships and the ladies could leave anytime. And they just didn't. They just stayed there because he loved them and they loved him. That's what they are that's what they're pretty much arguing. So they want you to know that, it's going to be a lot of things that you're going to see that really you shouldn't have to see in a courtroom or in a federal courtroom or however they put it. But this was his life and his lifestyle rather than anything that would be under what he's being charged with. And they even said, some of the things that he did were criminal. Yeah. They even said some of the things he did were criminal, but that could have been handled in other courts. basically domestic violin type stuff. So that's their, yeah, that's what they're arguing. So right now we're just getting, let's see if there's another update. Trying to look and see what the updates are that are coming from the courtroom. And let's see, did he get another one for us? Okay, so AUSA says, excuse me, what did you say? And this is right after he's called for him, he's holding the stack of money. So AUSA asked, what did you say? And Flores said, I said, I don't want your money. The damage is going to be charged to your room. AUSA asked, where did Cassie go? And Flores said, after I spoke with her, she left. A car pulled up. She left in a black SUV. AUSA asked, was there a driver? And Flores said 7 feet. I don't know what that means, but that's what's there. See if I have an update from the other side. This is kind of funny. Okay, 1 minute ago, from someone reporting from the courthouse, Officer Flores, who was a security guard at the Intercontinental Hotel, is recalling the day he was called about a woman in distress on the 6th floor of the hotel. When he got off the elevator, he says he saw Sean Combs seated in a towel, motionless but with a devilish stare. Huddled in the corner was Cassandra Ventura, covered by a hoodie. Shards of broken vase were scattered on the floor. Ventura told him she wanted her bag and wanted to leave. Flores said Combs offered him a stash of cash, enough that would fit between his thumb and pinky. He said he understood it would be a bribe. He was telling, and then in quotes, he was telling me, don't tell nobody, Flores said. Okay. Okay, then. All right, that's the latest update from this one. Toggle back to the other one and see if there's another update. What did you say? Okay. Okay, Flores, he said, she wants to leave. I said, I'm talking to her, not you. They left. AUSA says, then what? Flores says, we went up to Mr. Combs' room to remind him of hotel rules. He opens the door and grabs the phone and says, are you recording me? And then it says, I pinned him to the wall. I think this man has some typos, y'all. I so doubt that he pinned him to the wall. Maybe he did because he's security. I don't know. I don't know. This is interesting. Oh, man. Well, we're just waiting. This is kind of funny because I don't know if the person who's giving this courtroom reporter, I don't know if he's got typos or what, but some of this doesn't necessarily, maybe he's not able to get each line, and that might be why it's not jiving correctly. Because if he's not able to get each line of the testimony, then that could be why it sounds a little funny. One thing I will say though, it's very interesting to hear how all this took place. I will say that. Okay, so just waiting for another update to come out of the courtroom. So these are actual people that are in the courtroom, and they're sending out updates as they are able to. So I guess I'm understanding that they are able to have their phones, but they're not able to, and maybe some tablets and things like that. I guess, you know, I know for sure they're not able to take any pictures. They're not able to do any video or anything like that. So, but apparently they are in the courtroom able to get this text and send these messages out. Let me see if there's another one. Because they're not coming in like completely in order, it's kind of hard to I have to kind of look around to see if one came in that I didn't see. Okay, so still waiting on one. All right, there's a comment that was held for review. So if you don't see your comment, it was likely just held for review for some whatever reason. So I don't know if you all noticed, I was putting up some pictures between Diddy in the courtroom and his family coming into the courtroom. So it looks like this morning, I believe I saw every one of his children and his mother. I was peeked into another couple of lives, and it looks like Dennis Byron with the Hip Hop Inquirer. He almost got a chance to talk to Little Rod. He spotted Little Rod, and he was trying to ask Little Rod if he wanted to come over and interview or talk. And it looked kind of like it might happen, but then I think Little Rod just kept walking. But Dennis was saying, yeah, that was Little Rod. Nobody else spotted him. So Little Rod is also at the trial. And that was at lunchtime when I jumped around to see what else I could find out. So Little Rod is there. It looks like the Combs twins, Quincy. I didn't necessarily see the other young man whose name escapes me right now. I don't think I saw him, but I did see like the whole group, so I'm pretty sure he was there. What's his name? Christian. And I saw a picture of his mom. She was going in. So yeah, they started right out, everything with everything. All of the ugliness. Let me look and see if there's a new update. There's one from my other source. Okay. So, Officer Flores, a security guard at the Intercontinental Hotel in 2016, is that it? Said he saw Cassie Ventura, he recalled had a purple eye. Oh my gosh. Let's start over. Officer Flores, a security guard at the Intercontinental Hotel in 2016, said he saw Cassandra Ventura, who he recalled had a purple eye, leave the hotel in a black SUV. Then he and the hotel's front desk manager went up to Sean Combs' room to, quote, remind him of the hotel rules. Flores said Combs grew upset and grabbed the desk manager's phone when he thought the manager was recording him. Flores testified that after Combs grabbed the phone, he pinned Combs to the wall. Okay, so I guess he did go ahead and get rough with him because Combs or Diddy grabbed. Sorry, I'm trying to adjust. Diddy grabbed the phone. Okay, all right, that makes more sense now. Okay. Let me check on the other one and see. So Flores, I took photos of the broken vase to tell them to clean it up. I went to write the incident report. AUSA, is this it? Flores, my report with my name on it. Defense, same objection. Judge, noted. AUSA, then did you review the video? Flores, yes. Okay. Okay, so that's the latest that's the latest testimony. And we'll continue to wait for other testimony. If you all haven't looked at or seen the video where Albie Sure had gone onto a news station, and then I did a reaction video or review of him going on to the news station. Now, he said he had been subpoenaed in this case. Hello, Texas Toy. Hey, girl. Hey, how you doing today? Albie Sure says he was subpoenaed. He says that he's going to be talking to his lawyers to see, I guess, if he's going to actually testify, because we do know that just because you're subpoenaed doesn't mean that they're actually going to ask you to testify. But he said he's more than happy to come up and testify. So we will see. Also, I am waiting to hear back from someone with some insider information regarding Albie Sure. So I'm waiting to hear back from that person. I don't want to say too much because I want them to give me the information if they want to, and if that's not what they want to do, then, then I'll find out. But I'm hoping to have the best chance of them giving me some more scoop on their inside information on Al B. Sure. So we'll have to see how that pans out. But he says he's more than happy to testify. And he says that he was subpoenaed. So we will see if Al B. Sure comes up. He says he alludes to Diddy having everything to do with his health decline back a couple years ago. And he says that he does not believe that Kim Porter passed away because of pneumonia. That's what Al B. Sure says. So there's another update. The prosecution's first witness, Officer Israel Flores of the Los Angeles Police Department, has been testifying since court resumed after lunch. He's a former security guard who was alerted to Sean Combs' ASSAULT of his former girlfriend, Cassandra Ventura, in March 2016 at the hotel in Los Angeles. The assault is an important event. I said it. YouTube, don't catch me. Is an important event in the prosecution's ex-trafficking case against Combs. Okay. So that's update from that platform. Let's see update from this one. See if we have anything. The vase. Okay. AUSA. I'm handing you a thumb drive with videos. Video shown. AUSA. Did it have audio? Flores. No. AUSA. Let's walk through it. Who is this? Flores. Cassie. AUSA. And this? Flores. Mr. Combs. AUSA. What's happening here? Flores. She picked up the wall phone. She picked up the wall phone. That sounds like maybe she was trying to call the front desk. That's usually why you would grab a wall phone. At a hotel or the landline. Okay, so we're just waiting on any other update. They're floating in. They're coming in a little bit slow, but they are floating in. Let me refresh, see if there is anything. It's 10 minutes, 2 minutes. We have that one. 53 minutes. Okay. All right. Nothing from either platform. Okay. All right, you all. Let me grab a call, and then I'll be back with further updates. Thank you for joining, and I'll be back soon. Bye-bye.